Welcome back to my channel, Think CSEC. Today we'll be doing part 2 of the CSEC English A January 2019 past paper 1. So let us get right in. Items 41 through 46. The instruction says read the following extract carefully and then answer items 41 through 46 on the basis of what is stated or implied. The title, Who Does What? It says, it is quite outmoded today to label certain work as being suitable for only men or women. For example, we see men and women working in dressmaking, cooking, hairdressing, the law, and a variety of other jobs. Men work in heavy industries which call for physical strength. But apart from those, both men and women have shown equal aptitudes in a wide range of occupations. Many men like pottering about the home, and indeed would do more in the home and enjoy it. If public opinion had not ordained that most work in the home is woman's work, there has been established a curious code of behavior regarding men's and women's jobs. A man can work in a cafe, wash up and clean the floor, but he would be doing a woman's job if he did the same work in his own home. He can lay the table in a restaurant, but apparently his whole personality changes when he passes through his own front door. For them, he and his sons are considered incapable of laying a table, filling a salt cellar, or washing a teacup. He can make beds, clean, and provide morning tea in a sleeping car on a train, but has no appetite for those simple jobs in his own home. In the army, within a week, he has accustomed himself to making a bed, lighting a fire, and pressing his clothes. But after discharge, he is treated as incapable of turning a mattress or giving a hand with the washing or ironing. Similarly, women all over the country decorate their own homes, distempering and painting into a highly efficient manner. Yet, wielding the paintbrush in the decorating business is considered a man's job. It is a mystery to me how painting became the complete monopoly of men. The deftness and skill which women now have shown in other trades seem particularly suited to painting. Now I can imagine how, if the painting trade had been monopolized by women workers, the same quite irrational attitude would have been adopted, and for me, and for no other reason than custom, men would not have sought work in that field. Today, with so much mechanization and automation round the corner, we shall have to recreate. The woman in the home does a manual job which saps her physical energy. We may soon find that a man's job outside the home calls for less physical energy than the one done by his wife in the home. What is woman's work and what is man's work should be determined solely by the aptitude of the individual, and it is in the interest of the family and the country that this new approach be adopted. Let's look at our questions now. The first question says, which of the following is suggested in the first paragraph of the extract. Men have curiously behave curiously when doing jobs in the home. B. Men and women are equally able to do many jobs. C. Public opinion determines the jobs women do. D. Men prefer jobs which demand physical strength. So looking at this, we know it is B. Men and women are equally able to do many jobs. Because if we take a look there, it says, it is stigmatized that certain work is only for men and women. But we see men and women working in dressmaking, cooking, hairdressing, the law, and a variety of other jobs. And expressions such as both men and women have shown equal aptitudes in a wide range of occupations. So that is the reason why we have selected B. Men and women are equally able to do many jobs. Let's move on to 42. The main intention of paragraph 2, lines 8 through 15 is to show that A. A man should not do the same job at home as he does at work. B. A man has contrasting attitudes to similar jobs done at home and at work. C. A man can derive employment from doing similar jobs at home and at work. Or D. A man's attitude should change when performing similar tasks at home and at work. So let us look at lines 8 through 15. So it says here a man can work in a cafe, wash up and clean the floor, but he would be doing a woman's job if he did the same work in his own home. He can lay the table in a restaurant, but apparently his whole personality changes when he passes through his own front door. For then he and his sons are considered incapable of laying a table, filling a salt cellar, or washing a teacup. He can make beds, clean, and provide morning tea in a sleeping car, on a train, but has no appetite for those simple jobs in his own home. In the army, within a week, he has accustomed himself to making a bed, lighting a fire, and pressing his clothes. But after discharge, he is treated as incapable of turning a mattress or giving a hand with the washing or ironing. So our answer options would be B. A man has contrasting attitudes to similar jobs done at home and at work. Let's go on to number 43. It says, the main intention of paragraph 3, lines 16 through 21 is to A. Stress that women possess skills and aptitudes which men do not. B. Show that a woman's nature is particularly suited to decorating. C. Demonstrate the irrationality of decisions regarding a man's and a woman's work. D. Indicate that men experience similar problems with regard to work as women do. So let's see line 16 through to 21. Here it says here, similarly, women all over the country decorate their own homes, distempering and painting in an efficient manner. Yet, wielding the paintbrush in the decorating business is considered a man's job. It is a mystery to me how painting became the complete monopoly of men. The deftness and skill which women now have shown in other trades seem particularly suited to painting. Now I can imagine how if the painting trade had been monopolized by women workers, the same quite irrational attitude would have been adopted, and for no other reason than custom, men would not have sought work in that field. So, or Answer option would be C. Demonstrate the irrationality of decisions regarding a man's and woman's work. Let's go on to 44. Here it says, according to paragraph 4, lines 22 through 24, mechanization and automation might lead to A. An easier life for both men and women, B. Household jobs being more time consuming than those performed at the office, C. An adjustment of our thinking with regard to employment, D. Housewives' work being more physical strenuous than men's jobs outside the home. So let's look at line 22 through 24. Here it says, today, with so much mechanization and automation around the corner, we shall have to reorientate. The woman in the home does a manual job which saps her physical energy. He may soon find that a man's job outside the home calls for less physical energy than the one done by his wife in the home. So our answer would be D. Housewives' work being more physically strenuous than men's jobs outside the home. Let's go on to 45. Which of the following devices does the writer mainly use in the passage to present her argument? A. Sarcasm, B. Contrast, C. Repetition, or D. Exaggeration. We see our answer is B. Contrast. We see a contrast, a comparison between men and women. So B would be our answer. 46 says, according to the writer, which of the following should determine what is a man's work and what is a woman's work? A. Custom, B. Aptitude, C. Public opinion, or D. Individual attitudes. Well, this one is quite easy. Our answer would be B. Aptitude. Let's go on to our following questions. Question 47. Items 47 through 54. So here we have another comprehension. The instruction says, read the following speech carefully and then answer items 47 through 54 on the basis of what is stated or implied. The title, He's the Man. It says, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the candidate for Dimmsville. He is the man who will make all your dreams come true. He is the man who will fulfill all your wishes. He is the man who will stand by you through thick and thin. Our opponents say that he comes from a foreign country and he is not one of you. I must thank them for their kind comments because that is just what you need is exposure to a developed world. He is equipped with the best ideas that will create opportunities for you. Don't you need steady jobs? And how about a school like that which the other areas have? Yes, my friends, you need to live like valued citizens, not like oppressed slaves in endless destitution. Your lives are not a journey into the promised land. You wander in a vast wilderness where hostile forces of humanity hound you with relentless cruelty. Your daily bread is sickness and worry, hunger and disease. Your hovels are dens of misery filled with empty hopes and despair. Have you considered the future of the children? Look at this man. The man will make your dreams come true. The man who will give you your wishes. The man who cares enough to come to your village. So let's look at our questions. 47 says, the purpose of the speech is to A. Introduce the new product. B. Find out the needs of the audience. C. Condemn the efforts of opponents. Or D. Persuade the audience to vote for someone. Well, this is quite an easy one. Our answer would be D. Persuade the audience to vote for someone. You know, that's the nature of this comprehension. Let's look at 48. It says, the speech was most likely given at A. Board meeting, B. Business meeting, C. Political meeting, or D. Church meeting. Well, we notice there's the word candidate that was used. So we know that our answer would be C. Political meeting. Let's move on to 49. The speaker addresses the audience as you in order to A. Present himself to the audience, B. Distance himself from the audience, C. Accuse the audience of failing in their duty, D. Make the audience feel he cares about them. Well, we know that this one would be D. Make the audience feel he cares about them. Let's go on to 50. The speaker suggests that because the candidate comes from a foreign country, line 3, he will A. Not appreciate them, B. Leave them at any time, C. Be an advantage to them, D. Not represent them. Well, we know coming from a candidate, the candidate coming from a foreign country, would be C. He would be an advantage to them with his international flair, so to speak. Let's go on to question 51. Here it says, when the speaker says, you need to live like valued citizens, line 7, he attempts to A. Change your villagers' way of life, B. Make the villagers feel good about their lives, C. Make the villagers feel they are treated well by their representatives, or D. Change the villagers' view of their lives so that they choose his candidate. Well, looking at answer A and D, it is close, quite close, quite close. So our answer, it could be, I'm torn between A and D. Change a villager's way of life. D. Change the villagers' view of their lives so that they choose his candidate. So I am going to go with D. Change a villager's view because you need to live like valued citizens, meaning that the way of life that they're living now, is not really up to the standard of living. So I am going to go. So between A and D, so he want to change their view so that they can have a better way of life. So either options A or D, but I'm going to go with D. So let's go on to 52. It says, the name Dimsdale is suitable for the village because A. It is an important name. B. There is no electricity in the village. C. It is named after someone who used to live there. D. The villagers feel hopeless because they lack basic amenities. Well, the name Dimsville is suitable because D. The villagers feel hopeless because they lack basic amenities. All right, let's go on to number 53. It says, in paragraph 1, the speaker repeats the words, he is the man, because he wants to A. Present the candidate as a superman, B. Emphasize the power the candidate possesses, C. Impress upon the audience that he is offering them the best person for the job, D. Inform the villagers that they need a man and not a woman to represent them. Well, we know that he is the man. He is the man. B. Emphasize the power the candidate possesses. True, that could be said of him. We know answer A is out. Let's look at C. Impress upon the audience that he is offering them the best person for the job. That could be our answer too. D. Inform the villagers that they need a man and not a woman to represent. Okay, that is out. So our answer is between B and C. So E is a man. This is really, let's go with C. Impressing upon the audience that he is offering them the best person for the job. Let's go on to 54. Which of the following devices is not used in the speech? A. Pun. B. Metaphor. C. Repetition. D. Rhetorical questions. Well, our answer would be A. Pun. Our answer would be A. Pun. Because we saw metaphor coming out in here. We saw that coming out here. In fact, the name of the place, we saw that coming out, the name of the place. And we saw the name of the place, right? We saw that coming out. We saw repetition, he is the man. And we saw rhetorical question. Don't you need steady jobs? Yes. And how about a school like that which the other areas have? So we saw all of those coming out in this. So our answer would be A. Let's go on to 55. Let's go on to question 55. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Oh, this is giving a little problem. Okay, here we go. Items 55 through 60. It says, instructions. Read the following advertisement carefully and then answer items 55 through 60 on the basis of what is stated or implied. Here's our advertisement. It says, all this information in one small package. Discover Asia Land Isle. All right, so we saw here it says, Discover Asia Land Isle is the complete country guide, compact and portable, with information and contacts for everything from accommodation to restaurants to touring. Need to know where to catch a taxi, hear a steel band, go bird watching or window surfing? It's all in one convenient place. Discover Ajalan Isle is elegant in its design, colorful and simple to read. Open its pages and be mesmerized. Fall into its wonderland. Experience travel like you never have before. Discover Ajalan Isle. Available free at major hotels at La Vizla National Airport and online from our website. So got our questions now. Here are questions 55. Here it says, this advertisement would most likely appeal to A. Tourists, B. Scientists, C. Educators, D. Environmentalists. So we know it would be appealing to tourists. So our answer would be A. Let's go on to 56. The equal sign between the stack of books and the book Discover Agellan Isle suggests that the guide is A. Free, B. Heavy, C. Compact, D. Convenient. It is compact, C. Let's go on to 57. The author repeats the words Discover Agellan Isle to A. Persuade visitors to read the book, B. Encourage persons to visit the country, C. Emphasize the experience of nature, D. Illustrate the various events of the country. Our answer is to encourage persons to visit the country, B. Let's go on to 58. It says, the phrase available free suggests that the guide is A. Costly, B. Not for sale, C. Informative, D. Easy to read. Our answer is B. Not for sale. Go to 59. Which word in the second paragraph of the advertisement is used figuratively? A. Fall, B. Open, C. Discover, D. Experience. We know it is fall. A. Let's look at our last question. It says, persons can most likely obtain a copy of Discover Agellan Isle from A. All hotels, B. Most gift shops, C. Major supermarkets, D. www.discoveragellan.com. We know it was referred to the website, so our answer would be D. www.discoveragellan.com. So this is it. We have come to the end of part 2. So this is the full completed paper, past paper, CSEC English A January 2019. We have completed it. So be sure to watch part 1 video if you haven't yet done so. And don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. And thank you so much for watching. Until then, see you in the next video.